When you have a company like Plaid and it takes your data with your permission and uploads it to some other entity.
That is scary as Chances are you probably haven't heard about the company Plaid, but you may have seen their logo when trying to connect a bank account to an app. Plaid makes it super simple to connect your bank account to an app and exchange information seamlessly. However, there are some disturbing lines in their privacy policy that you're not going to want to miss out on. By watching this video to the end, you'll know what data Plaid can take from you and how you can use their service while easily protecting all of your sensitive financial data. Hi, my name's Chuck, and I bring you exclusive content you won't find anywhere else in personal finance and Bitcoin. So make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already so you don't miss out. Plaid was founded by William Hockey and Zach Perret in 2012. Their idea was to make it fast and easy to connect apps to bank accounts. Before Plaid, when an app wants to connect to your bank account, you'd have to go find a check, grab your routing and your account number, carefully enter those into the app. Then the app would make a couple trial deposits into your account. You'd have to wait a few days, go back to your account, find out those amounts, plug them into the app. Once that was done, then you could finally use the app. It was a slow process. A lot of users abandoned the apps during that onboarding process. So Plaid actually created a solution to make this process a lot faster and a lot simpler. Plaid's service is like a direct pipeline between your bank account and an app. With Plaid, you can connect your bank account to an app using just your bank account's login information. No more pulling out a checkbook and carefully entering in your routing number and your account number. Also, no more waiting several days in order to use the app itself. Plaid software can actually check your bank account's balance in real time, preventing fraud. And in some apps, allows you to instantly transfer money between your bank account and an app. Companies pay Plaid in order to make their sign-up experiences faster and user-friendly. Plaid helps connect your bank account to many of the financial services, technology apps, or Fintech as it's called. Some of these Fintech apps you probably heard of: Robinhood, Acorns, Betterment, Cash App, Coinbase, Paxos, Strike, Bitstamp, and others. In January of 2020, Visa acquired Plaid for $5.9 billion. That just goes to show you how big Plaid really is. So what's the big deal then? Sounds like Plaid's making everyone's life easier. While that is true, there are some people sounding the alarm on social media, like on Reddit. It makes sense too, because when you read through their privacy policy, there are some lines in there that are downright scary. So let's go ahead and go through some of these data practices. This is Plaid's privacy policy, effective on December 30th, 2019. Plaid may change this policy from time to time, but they will update the effective date when they do. Information about credit accounts, including due dates, balances owed, payment amounts and dates, transaction history, credit limit, repayment status, and interest rate. Whoa, depending on what app you're using this for, this could be some sensitive data that some people may not want Plaid to have access to. Information about loan accounts, including due dates, repayment status, balances, payment amount and dates, interest rate, guarantor, loan type, payment plan, and terms. Again, if the app I'm trying to use tracks my credit and my loan balances, this would be fine. But for other apps that don't, this seems excessive. Information about investment accounts, including transaction information, type of asset, identifying details about the asset, quantity, price, fees, and cost basis. Understandable if the app that you are connecting to uses this data to give you a better idea of how your investments are doing, but for a lot of people, this will also be excessive. Identifiers about the account owners, including name, email address, phone number, date of birth, and address information. This is reasonable due to regulation and fraud prevention, but it's good to know. Information about account transactions, including amount, date, payee, type, quantity, price, location, involved securities, and a description of the transaction, and professional information, including information about your employer, in limited cases where you've connected your payroll accounts. In my opinion, collecting information about your employer is a bit excessive. And finally, guys, the big one is that the data collected from your financial accounts includes information from all of your accounts accessible through a single set of account credentials. This means that Plaid will be able to collect pretty much all of the data that you have access to inside of your bank account login. So if you only intend to use your checking account, they can technically take data from your other accounts as well. This is terrifying. Plaid's one saving grace is this line: we do not sell or rent personal information that we collect. However, I think a lot of the data collection practices here serve all of the variety of different fintech apps that Plaid services. This is a potential problem though, because it allows Plaid to collect more data than they would typically need for a specific app. I would specifically like to see Plaid create a separate privacy policy for each app and only include the data that they need to collect from that app. If you are not comfortable with Plaid's data collection policies, there are two ways that I'm going to show you that you can control and protect your sensitive financial data. The first is pretty interesting. Plaid actually gives you control over the data that they collect. They have created a portal that you can log into that shows you exactly what data that they're collecting from you and what data that they're sending to the apps that they've connected for you. Plaid even gives you the option to disconnect specific apps from your bank accounts. You can even delete all of the data that Plaid has collected from you so far. In order to access this portal, you need to create an account at my.plaid.com. Don't worry, you can even delete your my.plaid.com account and any information that they have on this account as well. Once you're logged in, you'll see the bank accounts and the apps that Plaid has connected for you. You will need to quickly verify your bank accounts so that they know it is you creating this account. Once you click on a verified bank account, Plaid will show you exactly what data is being collected and passed on to what specific apps. You will also see the other information that Plaid has on your bank account below. On the left, you can click Manage Connections, and you can choose to disconnect specific apps from your bank account. I like that Plaid reminds you to also contact the apps and make sure that they delete any data that they have collected so far about you as well. It's also nice that you can reconnect these apps at any time. So if you're not planning to use an app for a while, it might be a good idea to disconnect it from your bank account, and that way you're limiting the data that they're collecting on you and protecting yourself. There is also an option of continue to data deletion. Use this option to sever the connection to all apps and permanently delete all data that Plaid has on this account. Finally, under settings, you have the option to delete your my.plaid.com account as well. Just be sure you sever and delete your data on Plaid first, because deleting your my.plaid.com account only deletes this management portal. I love that Plaid shows you what data is being collected and gives you control over that data, as well as the connections in an easy to navigate portal. Lastly, even if you don't trust that Plaid is showing you all of the data that they collected through this management portal, there is still one way that you can help limit what data they have access to. The solution is simple. All you have to do is smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. After you've done that, all you have to do is open up a separate bank account that Plaid supports. You can even open a simple online checking account. I know what you're thinking though. I don't want to have to create another bank account and manage that. Plus, most bank accounts require you to have a direct deposit, a minimum balance, or a minimum amount of activity to avoid fees. Well, I'm going to tell you guys, it's actually not that bad. There are certain banks that won't charge you fees and don't require direct deposits or a certain amount of activity. One example that I found is BBVA, but there are a whole bunch of others too. You can apply online and the process generally takes about 5 to 10 minutes. Then all you have to do is fund the account. Once the account is funded, All you have to do is link that account to Plaid. Now, the only information that Plaid will have access to is this. And all of the financial information that you don't want Plaid to have is protected. And I know, guys, it's just easier to enter in your login information and say whatever to the privacy concerns. But just remember that your personal data is being stored on a server outside of your control. This information can be hacked by criminals and identity thieves, so it is always better to limit your data to third parties as much as you can. Your privacy is worth protecting. You don't want to wake up one day and realize that someone stole your personal information and is making expensive purchases and loans under your identity. It is a big headache and a big nightmare that no one wants to deal with. I myself have opened up a separate banking account specifically for fintech apps that are connected with Plaid. There are so many cool fintech apps being released. So if you ever see Plaid when you're connecting your account to an app, just be sure to carefully look at their privacy policy and consider opening up a separate account. No matter what you do, you should at least create a my.plaid.com account to see and manage your data. If you've made it this far, please drop a comment below and let me know what you think about Plaid and their data practices. Also, do you trust them with your data? I'm curious to know your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you haven't already, please smash that like button, subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next time. Have a good day.